Hello YouTube and welcome back to another game of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Now you might be wondering, what is this about? Why am I so zoomed in? Reason for that is it's ridiculously hot here in the last few days, so I'm not wearing a shirt, and just to keep it as appropriate as possible, I have decided to kind of just zoom it in a little bit to keep my... yeah, you get the point. Anyways, so we've got ourselves a Zerg versus Zerg here. You probably saw from the title already. Let's jump straight into it and introduce these two players. Now, on the top left hand side here, we've got ourselves Guru. By the way, this does not apply here. 1-0 does not apply because this is from some series. I think it was actually like a ladder playoff kind of thing that they had, but I don't actually have all of the rest of these games. I just have this one. So Guru versus Nerchio on Frozen Temple. So on the top left hand side here, we've got Guru, who I haven't actually casted in a ridiculously long time. It's probably been about 4 or 5 months since I casted this guy, and I need to give him a bit of attention because these next few replays, about 5 or 6 of them, are going to be actually from his uploading profile for the StarCraft 2 replays website. So Guru, he is on Team True eSport and he is from Poland. His opponent is going to be Nerchio. I don't think he really needs an introduction, but for the sake of giving equality to everybody, he is on Team EURONICS Gaming, and he is from Poland also. So, traditionally a matchup that results in a victory or defeat for either players very, very quickly. But we're going to see how this one plays out. So as you can see here, Nerchio has actually gone for a very, very early aggression push here. So he's got himself Zerglings on the way. He's making more and more Zerglings, not actually droning at the moment, but he is expanding off the back of that. That is simply because he does not have enough drones to actually... or rather, he doesn't have enough eggs to make use of the larva to make use of to make Zerglings. So a bit of a mind screw there, but anyways, that's pretty much how that ends. Now with these Zerglings, to level the battlefield, what Nerchio needs to do is destroy this one expansion. If he does that, he's actually going to be in quite a good position, maybe not fully ahead, but he would be quite equal. Now, seeing as Guru doesn't really have anything to respond with, this is looking to be a very good position for him, so he will be able to deny this, and after that he will probably have a bit of an advantage in terms of army supply as well. So he's actually doing pretty well to be here so early and to catch Guru off guard like that. Good pullback from the Zerglings there, just to basically stay out of those I can't even think. Broodlings. I haven't casted that much lately, simply because I've been quite busy with work, and as well these hot days are very difficult to find times to cast on. So basically I'm forgetting my words and what everything is called. And there we go, the expansion coming up here again for Guru, and as you can see, Nerchio has now got his own expansion up and running, and at this point he's actually doing quite well. Now, saying that, this does not mean that Nerchio is so far ahead that it's unrecoverable. If you look at the worker supply, both players have exactly the same worker amount. The army supply is slightly favoring Nerchio, but Nerchio did kind of hurt himself at the start by rushing all of those Zerglings. So as I was saying, now that he's destroyed the hatchery here, he is in a good position, but it kind of evens the playing field. Once you destroy a hatchery, at that point, that's where you want to start doing additional damage. Now, he's decided to not go for that and be a little bit more careful, and that is probably just in case there would be banelings up on top of the ramp, where he could lose quite a few Zerglings. So we'll see how he continues on with that. As you can see here, creep spread is continuing forward. Zerglings are getting poked, but I don't think he's going to move in with these too much, because this one spine crawler can probably take out about half of those Zerglings without even any help. So Guru probably going to start to macro up a little bit. He needs to be very careful though for any sort of Nerchio attacks that could be potentially coming. Now, a bit of an awkward place to leave Zerglings, to be honest, because as you can see, they're being spotted pretty much the whole time. Now, what is this? We got a Roach Warren Evolution Chamber right at the entrance. Now, I wonder, is this a full block? I do believe that there might be a bit of a gap there. Never mind. It probably was a full block, but then with this spine crawler gone, it is going to be cleared up. Now, he can probably block that off with a single queen, just a note. Let's see, so now Guru's going to know that the spine crawler has moved forward. It's very, very unlikely that a pro player like Nerchio would actually build 2 spine crawlers in a situation like this. He'd probably only do that if he was being rushed very, very early, and that is still not a very popular thing to do. I mean, in the lower leagues, and by lower leagues I mean myself, around platinum level, that's exactly what you'd see. You'd see about 2 or 3 spine crawlers coming up just to counter off those zerglings, and it's actually something that I like to do myself. It works out quite well for me anyways, but probably not the best thing to do. The reason for that is, of course, because I don't particularly like to use banelings, so I like to use my spine crawlers a bit more for defensive purposes. So these zerglings pretty much useless at this point. As you can see, 28 to 8 army supply, and that is of course with the big influx of roaches. At the same time, we do have ourselves the spire coming up here. Now I wonder, is Nerchio going to be prepared for this, because that'll be very, very difficult to deal with once those mutalisks come up, and he will be able to make 6 of them there, just as per usual. It's very, very common to make that exact number for whatever reason. I don't actually know why it's 6. I know 5 will one-shot a worker. In fact, it might even be 4 since it's a drone. But the more the merrier. Now let's see what these roaches and zerglings will do. And as you can see here, 2 spine crawlers. Now this is of course because he does not have that much anti-ground attacks or anti-ground units, but he has actually held us off quite nicely. Now note that the mutalisks have revealed themselves at this point, so Nerchio definitely going to be looking at potentially getting himself anti-air at this point. And that is exactly what he's doing. He's got himself 1 here, he's got himself 1 here. And that is as much as he will be able to do right now. I mean, a 3rd one here as well. But these mutalisks are going to be a little bit dangerous for a few seconds now, up until those spine crawlers are completely up. Now he could actually snipe off these queens quite easily, which is exactly what he's doing. There is transfuses going down, quite good transfuses actually, but not enough to keep those queens alive, and that is a 3rd queen going down now. And honestly, this is actually a good trade-off. You might think that, oh, okay, why is he not going for the mineral line? And the reason for that is because queens directly translate to larva injects, and denying larva injects for your opponent is essentially like cutting the production capability that he has by about half. And he's just picking off anything that he can right now. That's exactly what he needs to do. Just take anything for free that he can. And he might also, almost manage to get that overlord as well with bounces. But not quite managing to take that out. And what is that? That is a total of 8 at this point. And it looks like he is making a few more. And a few more flying over as well. So he is actually quite dedicating a lot of resources into that. And to be honest, it's not even the worst idea. I mean, his opponent is going for tunneling roaches, and to be honest, against mutalisks, that might be a bit of a problem. I mean, yeah, the roaches will not be able to attack, the mutalisks will not be able to attack the roaches unless they can see the roaches underground. But hey, that's just 1 overseer away, and, you know, that's pretty much it. Whereas if you have so many mutalisks, which as you can see here is the number at the moment is 13, then you can actually do quite a significant amount of damage to pretty much anything in your opponent's base. It would be very difficult to defeat that with just spore crawlers. As you can see here, just taking out 1 free spore crawler there. Did he lose many? He lost 1 mutalisk to that, so not a big deal whatsoever. Let's see, another queen dropping here, and I think that, to be honest, Guru is actually doing really, really well here. Despite Nerchio's early success of destroying the hatchery, he is doing really, really well here, and actually supply blocking Nerchio quite heavily here. That's a 26 army supply block. That is a very, very large block. I mean, he's going to have to spend, he spent 500 minerals there just to bring overlords up, and that is a problem. He's spending so much resources getting that back, where he should be using that to create, or rather not should be, but he could be using that to create attacking units. Now here is the overseer. This is going to be a problem now for Nerchio, for Guru rather. It's very easy to sneak by, but once the overseer is up and the mutalisks are in the air, those roaches will eventually drop. And here they are getting taken out. The number of mutalisks is growing and growing and growing. And honestly, I don't know how much will Nerchio be able to do with these roaches. Because at this point, they will be spotted pretty much anytime. And honestly, if I had to look at it as a who's doing better kind of scenario, I definitely think that that Nerchio is kind of a little bit behind now because of the air supremacy that Guru has. Now, Nerchio is doing everything exactly as he should. Just to point that out, it's not that he is going for roaches and just ignoring the fact that he's gotten a huge army in the air that could potentially just wipe him out in his base. What he's doing is he's being very aggressive with his roaches, which forces these Mutalisks to get back to base and defend. If they don't, essentially what will happen is those roaches will just overrun his base. Because he is focusing so much on air, he does not have that much on the ground, and that is something that he definitely needs to try to balance. It's very difficult to manage that when you've got yourself a bunch of these air units that you need to be in both places at once. Now, just to note, Mutalisks are very, very fast. In fact, they're, if I remember right, they're the second fastest unit in the game, and oh no, these corrosive or fungal growths are going to be very, very problematic. There are so many Hydralisks, and that has cost him half of his army. In fact, a little bit more than half of his army, and will be quite deadly. And that has kind of evened out the playing ground. He's lost so many Mutalisks there to those fungal growths. We'll see, will he manage to clean up all of these roaches or not, because they have actually cleared off an expansion, and that is very, very good for him indeed. So as I was saying, just the fact that you have been caught off guard with Mutalisks does not mean anything. You can still come back. All you need is a few good fungal growths, and then afterwards maybe a few Hydralisks, and you will be back in that game. Definitely not over once you get caught off guard like that. Now, in lower level games, obviously that might be a little bit more deadly, but hey, that does happen. Sometimes you'll just get caught by those Mutalisks, and there really won't be anything you can actually do about it. But in this case, it looks like he is doing quite well to hold off against that. Now here we go, the push from Nerchio, and now he's gotten himself a few infestors. There's actually no fungal growths on some of those, but they should be very, very soon. Now, how much energy do they have? There we go. Actually, some of them do. So, oh, missing that fungal growth. That is a bit of a waste, unfortunately. But he's still got about 3 in that army, I believe. Yes, he's gotten himself 3 and 2 even now, because he's actually managed to destroy one of those infestors. So doing quite well here. Now the army supply for Guru is absolutely, for Nerchio is absolutely massive. What he needs to do right now essentially is just catch those Mutalisks. He doesn't have a whole lot of anti-air, but it would be enough to deal with them. If he does get one fungal growth, that'll be Guru's army gone, and I think that might have just happened now. I mean, look at those Mutalisks, 48 army supply to 102, and I think that if Nerchio just continues on and just destroys more bases like this, he's mined out in the main. His natural is actually getting close to mined out as well. And that's essentially all he needs to do, just overrun his opponent at this point. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you come back from failed, not failed rush, but kind of semi-successful rush where he evened out the battlefield, didn't go too much aggression on it, and then he got surprised by Mutalisk. Still managed to come back and essentially overrun his opponent with ground units. And that is the beauty of the Roach. It's cheap, it's fast, it's versatile, and it's just one Nerchio the game. So that is pretty much that. Let's go back to our face cam. Yes, it is still zoomed in, so that's pretty damn awesome. I hope you've enjoyed this game. Don't forget to leave a like and of course subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will see you guys in the next game. Good luck, take care, bye bye.